Hey everybody, it's Jeremy, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different than normal. So as some of you know, I have been collecting the Disney Store dolls, and I usually don't collect dolls, but I have gotten into collecting them just because Jacob is collecting them, and so I started getting into it. And today I wanted to do a quick unboxing of the Park Rapunzel. Now, I got the Park one mostly because Jacob had gotten it, but also because the Park Rapunzel looks a lot nicer than the Disney Store one. So for any of you who are familiar with any of the Disney Store dolls, they come in this really gaudy, tacky, cheap-looking version of their, I guess their movie dress, but they're usually really sparkly and they're gaudy looking. And the Rapunzel dress really doesn't look like the dress in the movie. It's not flattering at all. And again, it's just really sparkly and hideous looking. So I decided to get the Park Rapunzel one. Now, I took the liberty of taking off the tape already, so I'll open it up in a few minutes just to show you guys more up-close stuff, but I'll just leave that off now. Some of the things that I like about the Disney Store one that unfortunately are not included in the Park Rapunzel is that hair doesn't come with this shiny stuff that's in it, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. Also, the Disney Store Rapunzel comes with eyelashes. This one doesn't. Something that I like about this, though, is that the dress is much more detailed. She comes with pastel and with a paintbrush, and in the Disney Store you can buy 2 extra dresses, and you can get a paintbrush, or not a paintbrush, companions, and then a hairbrush with it. And the hairbrush is more of a purple color to suit her, but the Park one is this silver one. Additionally, the Park Rapunzel comes with longer hair, and again, it's more detailed as far as the dress is concerned. So I'm going to start taking this out now. Okay, so now that I've got this all open, the ones that I have already are Aurora from the Disney Store. I also have Philip, I have Ariel, I have Eric, I have Beast, and I have Belle, and I also have Flynn, Mother Gothel, Snow White, and I think I have Mulan as well. I just got her. So something that I am not too particularly disappointed about, considering that I'm going to throw away the boxing anyway, but in the Disney Store versions of all the princesses, they all come with the specialty backgrounds that match their movie. So in the case of Ariel, you know, there's Atlantica in the background, and with the Disney Park ones, they come with the Disney Castle background, which is not a big deal for me considering that I'm going to take it out and throw it away anyways. But that's just something that is a little bit nice of a perk. So to show you guys what's all back here, they go through every single measure to make sure that you can't steal these things from inside the park or from inside the Disney Store. The Disney Store ones are not as bad to open up, and these ones are like 24 bucks. So I can see why they, put so many things in here to keep everything on, so you can't just rip it apart. Also, it's just to keep the doll up in the first place. Okay, so, like I said, this one comes with a more silvery brush, and the one in the Disney Store comes with a purple brush, and it also has a little diamond on it. This one looks a lot nicer. I think in reality it would be more something that Rapunzel would actually have in the movie, considering, that she didn't have really elaborate things there. Her dress in the movie was really about the only thing that was elaborate that she had in that castle. Everything else, or her tower, everything else is pretty basic. So this is the brush that the Disney Park one comes with, and it's got much thicker bristles than the ones in the Disney Store. The Disney Store ones are a little more flimsy of a plastic. This one's a lot firmer. Continue to take this off. Ooh, pulling her hair out already. All this tape. Look at all this tape. I just feel like this is a little excessive. Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna be really careful with this. One thing that I'm already noticing that I'm a little bit concerned about is that how much hair there is. They've applied it so much into the box and it's really holding it in there that I'm worried that as I'm pulling these things out that it's damaging the hair, because if you can see this right here, the hair's already coming out the back. And that's just a product of the fact that, there's all these pieces attached to the hair and it's ripping it out of the back. So that's my concern right now for this doll. That's my initial concern. On top of the fact that Jacob told me that the product that they use for inside the hair to make it sparkle is like a tinsel, and the problem with it is that it carries a lot of electricity in it, and it gets staticky. And it stands up if you get your hand close to it, and so I'm not sure if my doll will have the same problem. He said that's the problem that he has. So, I mean, I can see why, because all these pieces are so attached to it that it just frizzes it up, and more of the hair is being ripped out just by the tape that's on the back of the box. Because again, it's rooted all the way through the box here, and so by the time that you pull it out, it's being ripped out, and you're already pulling out some of the hair unintentionally. Let's see here. There are a few things that are attached here that don't look like they should be. Okay, I've noticed another problem already is that a lot of the tinsel is coming out the back. As I've already said, that the hair is coming through the back of the box. It looks like some of the tinsel actually got pulled into the back of the box, which there's so much hair here that like it really is almost not that big of a problem, considering that there's so much of it that if you just rip out one or two pieces, it's not really that big of a deal. But I mean, the fact that it's getting stuck in here is worrying me as far as just the rest of the hair, because it's going to pull it from the root, because even though there's so much of it, it's all rooted in the same holes, and so if you're yanking at the hair before you even pull the doll out, it's frizzing it up. Facing another problem with the hands, so that there's a type of plastic that you can't get off unless you snip it off. So I would recommend getting that off with scissors rather than a knife or a blade of some kind. See, the hands are all rubbered down. There's rubber bands, rubbered down, that's not a word. See here. The Pascal is adorable. The Pascal in the Disney store is much bigger and proportionally doesn't really match with Rapunzel. So I appreciate how small this one is, because I feel like it's more proportioned to her, where the Pascal in the Disney store is about this big compared to her. So I mean, it's almost, you know, as big as her head in the Disney store. So let's see here. Oh, this hair. Okay. There's some kind of string attached to the side of her hair, and that's holding it to her arm. Why is it doing that? The tinsel is already coming out. Ooh, look at this. All this hair. It's just a mess. Ooh. It's coming out in clumps. Ooh, and it's really staticky. Jacob was totally right. Look at this. Look how staticky that is. I suppose if you really wanted to, you could rip all the tinsel out, but I mean, there's so much of it, you'd probably spend hours doing it. This is just, it's everywhere. And a lot of this is coming out just because, I think it was because it was in the box and on that tape, and it just got all ruined. Let's see here, okay. Well, now that I've got her out, I want to put her down for a minute so I can get all this hair that's everywhere. I don't know if you can see all this, but all of this came out of that doll, just hanging off the bottom, and probably because the tape had ripped some of it out. So even though, like I said, there's so much hair in this doll, that's a lot of hair to be coming out right out of the box. So I would not recommend that if you have children, you should pull that out, or have them pull it out. I would recommend that you do it. She is very, very pretty. Very pretty doll. Let's see, all this hair. I think Jacob told me that it's about 18 inches, something like that, because the doll is 12. So this is about 18 inches. Ooh, there's more down here. Typically dolls are packaged with extra hair, so some of this could even just be the extra hair that's just coming out just from the packaging. But I mean, I'm not even pulling that hard and it's coming out. I'm gonna try to see how much comes out just with the brush. See, and that is concerning to me, how much hair came out, because even with my other Disney store dolls, they didn't lose that much hair, not even by pulling on it. The hair is really fine. This is very, very fine hair compared to some of the other Disney store dolls. Even the Disney park dolls don't look like they have hair this fine. It's still coming out in big clumps. So from what I have read online, because this hair is so staticky, really the only thing you can do with it is to braid it. So I think what I'm going to do is braid that afterwards, and I actually got an idea from Park Inspired, is that in the park for the parade they have this ribbon that runs through Rapunzel's hair, and it's really pretty, and so I had Jacob give me some ribbon that he had gotten for his doll off a suggestion that I had made that we should do it, and so I'm just going to tie the ribbon all the way through her hair as well. But let's go through this. There's this packaging down here. There's this paper down here, all looped in there so that her dress stays full looking, but I would recommend taking that out. And there's one of these little plastic things holding it. I cut that off rather than trying to yank it. This hair is everywhere. Okay. No, that's a little concerning. That piece, it made a little hole in the dress from that piece there holding it all together, that packaging in there. And it probably from being yanked. But I didn't even yank it that hard, so that's a little bit upsetting. And this may not be with every doll. This may just be with mine. Let's take that out. There are all these little plasticky, like T-shaped pieces that come with. Probably can't see that very well. I think I saw another one back here too. Okay. Nope, that was it. Okay, so let's go through the doll. There's no shoes. I don't know if the Disney Store Rapunzel has shoes, but this one doesn't. Her dress is much more detailed. It's got these little flower patterns along the side. Down here at the bottom, there's much more detail. The Disney Store doll is just a purple skirt, and then it's got the really big, disgusting looking sparkle thing on it. Let's see here. It also doesn't have this crisscross on there, not as detailed. There's more of a pattern here. The hands are fully posable. It looks like, yep, the wrist moves. The elbow moves, shoulder moves, basic. And like I said, the Disney park dolls are usually just positioned like this, and you can move the shoulder up and down, but usually the wrist isn't posable. So again, this is much more of a posable kind of a doll. The Pascal is adorable. He looks a lot more like the Pascal in the movie than the park, or than the store one does. There's some hair that's attached to him. So the paintbrush is painted pink at the tip, and she has her index finger up to hold that. I'm guessing both of her index fingers are up. I kind of want to go look at some of my other dolls now and see if the index finger is pointed upwards. See the back, normal, just Velcro back like the rest of them are. You can just pull that open and close it right back up. Let's see here. Let's look at the legs. The knee is fully posable, which is a nice feature there, because then you can get them to bend. So if you want them to like be sitting over something, you can position them like this, so like their knee is downwards. And with the male dolls, they all have them where the knee doesn't pose, so they're all just really stiff and standing upright. So I like that they made this one more posable in the legs, so that they don't look masculine like the male dolls. So the static is not as bad now that some of it has come out. And I would recommend, probably if you're opening this up brand new, for your kid or even for yourself, just to like kind of go through and pull out some of the loose hair that's at the bottom, just so that you have less to work with later, and so it's not frizzing up like the way that it's doing right now at the bottom. And it's expected because you're messing with a doll, you're not having real human hair, and this is probably plastic. The tinsel is definitely a problem, but it looks really pretty in the light. If you braid it, which Jacob has done, and I'll braid it, and I'll show you guys how it looks when it's braided, but it looks really pretty in the light. It sparkles, and that's probably just to add the effect of Rapunzel's healing incantation, and so I like that. I'm going to braid this really quickly. Okay, so I will show you guys how I did just the first part. In the park, she has this really tight, single, really tiny braid in the back that intermeshes with the bigger braid. So I wanted to show you guys this, that I've done a small, tight one. And so now the next braid I'm going to do is going to be a really thick braid. And it'll be with this one, including the other two parts of her hair. So I'm going to do that right now. Okay, so I have finished braiding her hair, and it took a while to do it, actually. So what I did is I put the ribbon through one of the braid pieces, and so I basically just intertwined it through the whole thing. So then it goes all the way through the back, but when you look at it from the front, it looks really nice. So in the park, the way that they have it is that the hair is left at the end where it's not braided, so that when she holds it, she can kind of just like stroke her hair while she's at the meet and greet. So I left it like that. So I might remove the paintbrush at some point and just have her holding her hair like this when I put her on a stand, which I plan to get. But basically, like with this hair, there's so much of it, and because it's just because it's so staticky, there's really not much else you can do other than braid it. So I would suggest braiding it. You don't have to do it the way that I did it. You can braid it really however you want to, but I would just recommend braiding it just because there's so much of it and it would be hard to do anything else with it. So that is my unboxing of the Park Rapunzel doll. So hopefully if you guys like this video, let me know, and then I can unbox a few of the other ones that I have, because I still haven't opened up some of the other ones. So here's Rapunzel. Additionally, I may go through and make some bows to put through here. I'm also going to get some flowers, probably from Michael's or another craft store, and just put the flowers all throughout here so that they really match the feel of the movie and the way that her hair was braided in the end. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Peace out.